All right, this is Math 102, the third part of 16.2 on completing the square. So the last thing that we're going to do for this is we're going to have numbers in front of the x squared variable. So the only difference that we have to do in this case is we have to divide every term by the number that is in front of the x squared. So then we get x squared plus 6x. I'm going to go ahead and add my blank equals, and negative 10 divided by negative 2 is positive 5. And then I'm going to follow with my blank. So the only difference is in these problems is that we just have to do one additional step, and that's dividing through by the coefficient in front of the x squared. Now we're going to take half of the 6, which is right here. That gives us 3. We're going to square 3, and that gives us 9, which goes in both blanks. We follow by factoring the left-hand side, and remember when we factor the left-hand side, it is x plus whatever this number is here, squared, and 5 plus 9 is 14. Now we're ready to take the square root property of both sides. I'm going to come up here. And this cancels each other out, so I'm left with x plus 3. As soon as I write my equal sign, I follow it with a plus or minus, and then I have the square root of 14 that cannot be simplified. The last thing I'm going to do is subtract the 3 and always put it in front of the plus or minus sign, and that is my final answer. Negative 3 plus the square root of 14, negative 3 minus the square root of 14. So in the next one, I'm going to divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2. So x squared plus 6x plus blank. Go ahead and add those blanks. 4 divided by 2 is 2, and add your blank. So then again, I take half of 6, which is 3, square 3, which is 9, and goes in the blanks. Factor this, so we get x plus 3, same as the last problem, and 2 plus 9 is 11. Now we take the square root of the left, square root of the right. This cancels each other out, so I'm left with x plus 3. As soon as I write the equal sign, I follow it with a plus or minus. I need to have both the positive and the negative value of that constant. And then last but not least, I subtract the 3, and that gives me my two solutions, negative 3 plus or minus the square root of 11. Okay, so the next two, we've got two steps that we've got to do. I would probably go ahead and divide everything by negative 4 first. And we still even divide that 0 by negative 4. So we're going to get x squared. 32 divided by negative 4 is negative 8x. Negative 44 divided by negative 4 is positive 11. And 0 divided by anything is 0. Now I've got to move that negative 11 over. So now I've got x squared minus 8x. Go ahead and add your blank. Make that a negative 11 and add your blank. Then I'm going to take half of negative 8, which is negative 4, square negative 4, which gives me positive 16. Factor this one. So we get x minus 4 in parentheses squared, and negative 11 and positive 16 makes positive 5. Now we're going to take the square roots of both sides. This cancels this. I'm going to come up here. Whoops, my arrow's a little off. So we get x minus 4 equals plus or minus the square root of 5. And my final solution is to move over the 4 so that I get x is equal to 4 plus or minus the square root of 5. This last one, I believe it's the last, nope, this last one of this type of problem we're going to have is very similar to the last one. We're going to divide everything by -3. So I get x squared minus 8x minus 8 is equal to 0. Now I can move that -8 over and add my blanks. So add a blank. Have your 8 positive and add a blank. Then I'm going to take half of -8, which is -4, square -4, and that becomes 16. Factor this, so we get x minus 4 in parentheses squared, and 8 plus 16 is 24. Take the square root. So we get this to cancel. X minus 4 equals plus or minus. And now I'm going to go ahead and simplify this. 24 is 4 times 6. The square root of 4 is 2. And the square root of 6 stays in. And then last but not least, I am going to add 4. So x is equal to 4 plus or minus 2 radical 6. All right, I'm going to stop there, and I'm going to make the next video starting with the next Roman numeral.